In this video, we're going to be showing you how we installed a dance floor into our living room. Now, backstory, my daughter competes in Irish dance and she's been progressing and now needs a larger place to practice and also needs a safe floor. If you're familiar with hard shoe dancing or tap or anything like that, a regular concrete floor like a garage is going to wear on the knees and the joints after a while, so you want a proper dance floor. So what we're going to be doing is installing one in our living room. Now, the great way about how we're going to be installing this is it's a temporary floor that can be removed if need be, and we're doing it on a budget. So this is something we can put in, take out if we really need to take it out, although that's not the easiest thing to do. It is doable. We won't be damaging our existing floor. We'll actually be protecting it and we'll be making a nice, safe floor. I'm going to show you all the materials we used and also how you can save some money in your material purchases. So stay tuned. Now, this is the space that I'm working with. We've already removed our large sectional couch. We had to get rid of it to make room for the floor, which is fine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
After the floor goes in, we're going to be replacing it here with a smaller couch and a little love seat. That way we can move stuff around the floor. Now, you want to measure out your area and figure out exactly how much room you need. And then you're going to be ordering 3 things. The first thing are these interlocking foam tiles. These are going to give you the cushion underneath your floor. Now, the ones that we picked out are a 1/2 inch thick and they come in 2 foot by 2 foot blocks. I will have a link for these down below, but you can get them in different sizes. The nice thing about these is if you ever have to remove it, they just pop apart. You can pile them in the corner and you can put them back. The next thing you're going to be purchasing is the actual floor top itself. Now, the most commonly used floor top is Marley, but there are 2 other options that will save you some money that should work just as well. Now, what I chose was this one, and this is another floor, same compound as a Marley floor, but it runs about half the price. If you want to save even more money, a lot of people are starting to use shower pan liners, same kind of plastic, but it's a whole lot cheaper. The downside is it has the logo all over it, and since we're doing it in our living room and we may or may not have a carpet over this thing at times, I don't want the logo everywhere. So we spent a little bit more money for aesthetics, but you can save a lot if you use shower pan liner. The third thing you're going to pick up is some vinyl tape. The vinyl tape is for taping together if you have to piece together pieces of your floor, and it also can be used to tape this down to the foam so things don't shift around. Now, you can get this in different colors. You can also get the floor in different colors, so you probably want to make sure these match if you're concerned about aesthetics. Now, we've already measured out our floor and we've determined that the first tile is going to be placed right around here. Now, when you do your first couple layouts of tiles, it's best to do a giant L. So you're going to go that way, and then you can make sure that both are perfectly straight, and then you can fill in the rest. So let's get to work. So what I've done here is we've done the first straight run. And what you want to do at this point is make sure that your run is perfectly straight and you've measured off everything. And now we're going to go and make an L out of it. Once we have everything measured out from the L configuration, then we can fill in the middle, but now we know that everything is true and square. Now you can see the tiles we're using are these little interlocking tiles, and they slip together really nice and easy. And the other thing these have, which some don't come with, are these. This is the edging right here. And this is so you can have a nice edge that doesn't have these on it. We're not going to need these on the interlocking portions, so we're going to leave them in place around the outside so we have that nice clean edge. And now we've got our L. I've gone and measured off the walls and measured off the step there to make sure it's perfectly square in the room, and I'm going to start filling it in with the rest of the tiles. So we moved the roll into the house and we bought this thing. This is the largest size they have. It's 6.6 feet by just around 50 feet. And if you buy in that dimension, this thing weighs a literal butt ton. Yeah, I said butt ton. Because? So this one is black and gray, and we're going to be using the black side of it. The way it's delivered, the gray's on the inside, so we're going to have to unroll it gray side up and then we're going to flip it. The reason I'm going black is for 2 reasons. One, a lot of the stuff in our house is black, so it kind of works if we wind up not putting a carpet over it. But the other thing is Irish dance shoes are black and they leave black marks on everything. Can't see black marks if the floor is already black. Now when you're laying it out, you do want to leave a little bit of a lip along the edge here, and that is because this stuff will try to curl a little bit, so you may want to tape it down to your foam. So we're going to leave about an inch all the way around. We're going to go all the way to the edge, and I'm going to show you a trick to cutting it without wrecking your mat or your floor. Now the trick to getting a nice straight cut is using a straight edge. So I've got a straight edge here, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark along the line we want to cut. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use a piece of tape here just to hold this thing down so I don't shift it around while I'm figuring this out. Looks good. So we're going to come in here with our marker and marker cut. Now we can remove our straight edge. We're going to use a metal yardstick to make sure our cut is nice and straight, but there's one more thing to do. And that is we're going to take a piece of plywood and slip it underneath here. Think of it like a giant cutting board. This way our mat knife isn't going to go through to the mats underneath. You want to make sure you use a very sharp mat knife so you can do this in one clean pass so it's not a big messy dirty cut. So we've got our first of 3 panel cut. Let's flip it over and then we'll start working on the next one. Now before we do our final trimming on our last piece, we're gonna tape down the corners of our first 2 pieces to make sure we have everything perfectly aligned. Now with any sort of plastic, you usually have a little bit of a film on it. So we're gonna take some isopropyl alcohol and just wipe down the corners so we can tape the corners down. Then with the alcohol dry, we're just gonna tape the corners. So we're just doing the corners. We're gonna go around the entire outside later. This is just to keep everything in place. So now we've got our last piece of floor in place. We've taped it right here, and then we're going to trim the far end. And then tape down our last 2 corners. Next, we're going to clean and tape down each seam. And that's all there is to it. Our floor is done. Now I'm actually gonna be taking the tape and going back over those seams one more time, putting a runner on each side and then all the way around the edges. But it's not necessary, especially if you're gonna be taking the floor up and down from time to time. Now, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will have links to the under padding and all of the different options for flooring the Marley, which is the most expensive. This is the mid-range, and then you can also use the shower pan liner, downside being that you're gonna have the logo of the shower pan liner on there. Now, I hope this video helped you out. I hope it saved you some money. If it did, give it a great big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. We've got lots more videos, all sorts of DIYs coming your way. And of course, thanks for watching.